In this English pronunciation tutorial, you're going to learn a really, really important difference between N as in thin and ng as in thing. These two sounds can be very, very difficult to tell the difference between. This video was a request from Thomas from Poland. So thank you, Thomas, for requesting this video. It's a really, really useful and important difference to know in English. And once you start pronouncing thin and thing clearly, it's going to make a huge, huge difference to the quality of your English speech. So I'm going to get straight into the video. I'm going to start by comparing both sounds, showing you how we correctly make both the n and the ng sound in English. I'm then going to give you some exercises that will help you to actually learn to pronounce both of them clearly if you're struggling with them at the moment. I'm then going to put both sounds into words and compare the difference between words when the only difference is this sound at the end of the word. This is very important. And then finally, I'm going to give you a super difficult exercise at the end of the lesson to really stress test your capabilities to pronounce and tell the difference between these two sounds. And if you really are committed to speaking English clearly and with good pronunciation, then this exercise is going to be invaluable for your English pronunciation. So let's dive straight in. Thumbs up if you like the video and subscribe for English pronunciation tutorials that come out like this on a weekly basis. So we're going to start by looking at the N sound, as in not, okay, N. So the first thing to know is that both sounds are nasal sounds. They come out your nose. So if I say either sound, n or ng, and I pinch my nose, look what happens. N, ng, okay, airflow stops. So the first thing that you must know is that all the airflow in both sounds is coming out your nose. The second thing is that both sounds are voiced. So if you put your hand on your throat and you say or you're going to feel your voice box vibrating, okay? The only difference between these two sounds is where the tongue is in the mouth, okay? So we're going to be really focusing 100% on tongue position here. So N, the tip of my tongue for N is right behind my teeth. It's not touching the teeth, it's just above. So above the back of my teeth is a part of the mouth called the alveolar ridge. And if I go right to the camera like that, you should be able to see just here is the alveolar ridge. My tongue, the tip of my tongue, is touching that ridge for N, okay? It's in exactly the same position as when I make the start of the L sound in English, as in long, okay? So let's start by putting our tongue in that position, having airflow coming out the nose, having our voice box vibrating, and making the N sound, like this. Okay, practice along with me if you want to get the most from this tutorial. To test if you're doing it correctly, put your hand on your throat and feel if it's vibrating. It should be. If it's not, you'll be hearing this. There'll be no sound and lots of airflow coming out your nose. The second test to make sure that you're making it correctly is make the sound and then pinch your nose. If the sound stops, you're making it correctly, like this. Okay, that's correct. If you're hearing this, then it's wrong, okay? So you really want airflow to stop when you pinch your nose. And the third test to make sure you're doing it correctly is simply to record yourself, like I'm recording myself now, and then look in the mirror afterwards or watch the recording back and make sure that your tongue is in the right position, like this. Okay, that's the N sound. Just one final exercise that's going to be really useful if you're still having difficulty making this sound is this. We're going to go between the L sound and the N sound, okay? And if you're finding it difficult getting your tongue in this position, then going between the two of these is really going to help. So just follow along with me now, okay? We're going to start by saying L, and then we're going to go straight into the N sound, like this. Okay, I really hope you can hear the difference there. And the main difference between those two sounds, like in this exercise, is airflow. For if I pinch my nose, there's no difference to the sound. It stays the same because 100% of the air is coming out of my mouth. For N, airflow stops, okay? So practice that exercise again. And that's going to make a really, really big difference, okay? Let's move on to step 2 and look at the sound. Okay, so the only difference, as I said, is the tongue position. For look at my mouth and tell me what you see. Where is my tongue? Well, for starters, the tip of my tongue is loose and it's down the bottom of my mouth. Okay? The bit of the tongue that you want to be aware of is the back of the tongue. There. If you actually do that, it'll make you want to feel a bit weird, okay? The back of the tongue touches the back of the mouth. There, okay? So look, I'll make it again. Can you see the back of my tongue coming up to my mouth? Okay, it's exactly the same tongue position as the two plosive consonants k and g. Okay, so just as we did a moment ago with that first exercise, we can do exactly the same here to get comfortable putting our tongue in this position. Like this. K. 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 If you were paying attention, you might have noticed that right before my tongue makes the k sound, it moves slightly in my mouth. The reason for that is because k is a plosive vowel sound. When the airflow stops coming out my nose and then starts to come out my mouth to make the k sound, but it's blocked, that then pushes my tongue even more, okay? But the tongue position is exactly the same. Let's go again. K. 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 All right? It really is as simple as that. Okay? So step 1 is to practice both of these sounds and exercises until you are comfortable making both of these sounds correctly. Now, if your native language doesn't have both of these sounds in to begin with, don't worry, it might take a while, but it's fine, you're gonna learn it, it's doable, and I promise that you will get it if you practice. Let's now move on to the next part of actually integrating this sound, now that we've learnt it, into our English speech. As I said, I'm going to give you 5 examples of both sounds, at the end of words, and then you can see exactly how they compare. So example 1, walk in, as in I'm going to walk in to the doctor's surgery. Walk in, walk in, walk in. That's the N sound. And now the ng sound is going to be the continuous tense of walking, walking, walking. Okay? We are walking together, walking together. All right? Example number 2. Eat in, eat in. So instead of going out to a restaurant, let's eat in tonight, right? Let's eat in. Okay, pay special attention to the tongue there. Let's eat in, all right? And that compares to we are eating together. We are eating together. We are eating together. If I just compare the two, eating, 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 eating. All right? Practice that and then move on to the next one. If you're finding this video useful, give a thumbs up and let me know what difficulties you're having with it below, okay? And that's going to enable me to see your comments and then respond. The next example is going to be jump in, okay? Let's jump in to the swimming pool together, okay? Let's jump in, jump in, jump in, okay? That compares to we are jumping into the swimming pool. We are jumping, jumping, jumping into the swimming pool. All right? Comparing the two, jump in, jumping, jump in, jumping, jump in, jumping. All right? Just a side note, in making this video now, I'm actually feeling a bit of tension here in the very bottom of my mouth, okay? So if you're feeling tension too, that may well mean that you're doing things correctly, so well done. Example number 4 is going to be thing, 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 and thin, thin, thin. So the girl is thin, okay? The girl is thin, okay? This pen is a thing. This pen is a thing, 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 all right? Thin, thing, thin, thing, thin, thing, thin, thing, all right? Simple as that. And example 5 is going to build on example 4 here, okay? Bit more tricky, but you can do it. We're going to say, let's put the thing in the box. So we're going to n. Okay, so this is the next step in actually developing your awareness of the two sounds. Let's put the thing in the box. 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 All right? So there are 5 examples, and I'm going to end the video now by giving you one really, really useful, invaluable exercise for now going between the 2 of these in a really intense situation, okay? The sentence is this, and I'm going to hold my notes up behind the camera here so I can actually see what I'm saying. This thin thing is thinking about eating in. 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 All right? There you have it. Now, I'm going to give you one final useful tip here before we go, okay? And that's this. Do not make the g sound at the end of ng. So a really common mistake that I hear people making is they'll say thinking, thinking, or this thing, okay? That's a really good example of bad English. You do not want to make that pronunciation mistake. It sounds very unprofessional. It doesn't sound nice to listen to at all, okay? If you're doing it, what you're doing there is you're making a G sound at the end of ng. So what's happening is the airflow is going from there to your mouth, and you're making that g sound at the end. G, g, okay? And we really, really want to avoid that. The ng sound, it all comes out the nose, and airflow stops once we've finished making that sound, but all through the nose, okay? It's as simple as that. Thumbs up if you've liked this video. This is a really, really, really valuable and important thing to know if you want to speak clear English with good pronunciation. So do the work, practice it yourself until you're comfortable, and it's going to make the world of difference for you, okay? If you know anyone that is trying to improve their English pronunciation or could benefit from speaking English more clearly and it would help them to enjoy a better quality of life, then please tell them about the channel here. Please tell them about my tutorials. My vision is to help as many people as possible get the benefits of good English pronunciation, and I really, really want to spread the message because I know it makes such a big difference to people's lives. So thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you next week for another super useful and practical English pronunciation tutorial. I'll see you next week.